Alright, we're going to move into the second game here. Opening hand was pretty good. We did have 2 lands available to us. They are the main color, which is blue. Works out really great because we have actually all 3 Trinket Mages in hand, as well as the Aether Spellbomb. We can get that in on turn 1, get some draw going, even though we won't really be able to get any plays moving until turn 3. So we put that in. Opponent started off with Young Wolf, so I was a little concerned that this was going to be a Stompy variant. Young Wolf is definitely something that's very hard to deal with. We don't have a lot of creature kill, and what we do have is apparently going to be negated through things like Undying, so something to keep an eye on. Obviously, going to have some use out of the Spellbomb, mostly for drawing cards. It's really important at this point in time. I wanted to find a 3rd land, and that was my priority over trying to bounce the Young Wolf or anything like that. We may find ourselves, however, in situations later on using that to return it and cancel out the extra +1/+1 counter on the Undying. Thankfully, it did find us a 3rd land. We can get that Trinket Mage in right away. Another Young Wolf comes down, and Swampy was playing some really cool version of a kind of a Morbid Undying deck, and that's pretty awesome. So Trinket Mage is going to come down. At this point in time, I decided to opt and find a Great Furnace. My thinking here was the fact that we were a little bit land short. The deck is kind of heavy on lands anyways, but we weren't drawing them just yet. By getting the Great Furnace, it gives us availability to use the Screds as we so desire. Also, we could look for the most important piece here in most cases is going to be the Pyrite Spellbomb, something that isn't going to work so great for us right now because we don't have red mana available to actually make that happen anyways. So getting the Furnace here is going to be our ideal play. Hopefully, we can find an opportunity to sneak in the Ninja. Attacking through next turn is not going to be so critical. He could simply chump block with both Young Wolves, and then they would come back bigger and harder to deal with. At 1/1, we're pretty okay with just leaving them there. We can even rely on things like the Flyers to get through. So, pass the turn through here. He does get a Phyrexian Rager. Draw into a Muldrifter here. We are simply going to play this Furnace, leave it available to us if we do find something that we find has to be hit with a Scred, but we're going to get the Trinket Mage right away and look for another opportunity to get one of our trinkets onto the field. And this time around, I did decide that I would pick the Pyrite Spellbomb, thanks to the fact that I finally have the availability of red mana. I can use it to at least kill off the Ragers, even if I'm going to avoid these Young Wolves. With the double Trinket Mage in play, he's not going to have opportunities really to attack through with those Young Wolves. I'm going to sit back and take a little bit of damage to this Rager in hopes that I can simply use it, the Spellbomb here, to make that happen. So, activating the Spellbomb in order to kill that off, he does actually have Undying Evil, and because I only had 1 red mana available to me, I could not, in response, use Scred to kill that off. So it is going to get the opportunity to come back as a 3/3, which is definitely a little frustrating, but we are going to still have mana available to us to put another Trinket Mage into play, and use that to find yet another little item here. Options here, went past that a little fast, did have options there for a Pyrite Spellbomb again. The White Spellbomb, name is slipping my mind right now, Sun something, which would give us life. Not really in a place where we need that. The Longbow is not going to be really helpful. The only thing it would hit basically would be these Young Wolves. Could be important later on, however, we did have some options there to, in this wall of a stalemate that we're running into, make something happen there. The other Pyrite Spellbomb is not going to be helpful because the only threat in the field is a 3 toughness, and that is out of range. If we're going to deal with that 3 toughness, it's going to come in through Scred. Anyways, so getting the Bone Splitter, I felt, will at least give me an opportunity to attach it to a Trinket Mage and provide a chump blocker that would be able to not only block the Rager, but kill it off in the same instance. It does, however, not go entirely my way, even though he is undyed this turn. That did activate the Morbid ability on Hunger the Howlpack, which now makes that a 6/6 on that Phyrexian Rager. So I have options here. I could decide to chump block with all 3 of my Trinket Mages and trade those for the Rager. However, I decided I was going to try my best and wait to see if there was an opportunity to get that Aether Spellbomb back. If I return that to his hand, it's going to lose all of those counters and simply be a much more manageable 2/2. This gives me an opportunity to simply chump block it here and there and just stall for time, basically. Gonna have some opportunities to draw some cards here with the Muldrifter, and if he has no other flying, then I can get a Ninja into play. So he plays the Ulvenwald Bear. I guess that's how we're going to say it. It does come in at a 4/4, is going to be something that I can actually target down here with the Scred. Playing the island first gives me 5 snow-covered lands at this point in time, which will mean the Scred is going to do 5 damage, and I have enough mana to both cast the Muldrifter for its full cost, as well as using the Scred to kill the bear on his next attack. Having that Muldrifter in play gives me an opportunity to simply chump block the Rager later on, if I still need to stall for time. Also drew into yet another Muldrifter here, which is great. Again, any opportunity we have to dig through our deck is going to be fantastic. So that's going to die. Interestingly enough, a bit of a misplay on my opponent's side. Plays Hunger the Howlpack. If he had decided to use that on the bear in response to the Scred, it would have made the bear a 5/5 and it still would have died. Oddly enough, in response to the Scred, he uses it on the Rager, which makes it a 7/7. Terrible misplay by him. He really should have waited for that to resolve so that the bear died and then used the Hunger of the Howlpack. That would have been a much better move. He would have gotten 3 additional counters on this Rager and it would have been that much more difficult to deal with. Thankfully, though, because it does not have trample, it was not hard for me to really deal with it. I could, again, keep chump blocking it all day. And if I really felt the need to, I could hardcast a Ninja. I have plenty of mana available to me, and I could hardcast a Ninja to just keep that alive. So finally find an answer here for that Phyrexian Rager. I'm going to be able to attach the Bone Splitter, which allows the Muldrifter here to swing through for 4. Kind of an interesting move on my part, and maybe a bit of a misplay, because by doing that, I have cost myself the ability to get rid of the Rager on this turn. I should not have attached the Bone Splitter. If I wanted to attack, I should have simply attacked for 2, used the Gargoyle here to return this Spell Bomb, and then I would have been able to return this Rager on his turn as he tried to attack with it. So because I didn't do that, I am forced to basically chump block away another Trinket Mage and lose a defender on the field. Gravedigger coming down is going to get the bear back for him, something to keep in mind because we do have options here to kill stuff off. Going to now have plenty of mana available to use that Aether Spellbomb, again waiting till his attack phase to do so. So swinging through here, I am going to take this opportunity to swipe in the Ninja in place of the Gargoyle so that I have the opportunity to reuse the Gargoyle's ability and return this Spellbomb. Most of the time that is where you want to be headed with your deck. You want the opportunities to reuse your Spellbombs and recur them from the graveyard as often as possible. There we go, Sunbeam Spellbomb. So draw into that. I do have a lot of great plays in hand. I have to leave 1 blue mana open and available for this so I can return the Rager. That being said, I have 4 open mana available. If I leave another 1 for the Scred open, I could, take the opportunity to just play the Sunbeam. Sorry. I can also replay this Gargoyle as I did choose here. And I am actually getting a pretty good spot with the lands here. Not too many and not too few. That's the word I was looking for. So only one in my graveyard was the Pirate Spellbomb. I am okay with that, however, because it will be damage on the next turn for the win. He attacks, Doomblade's here and will try to attack, but I do get the Spellbomb there. Bear is going to come in. It's going to, smartly enough, make the Emissary bigger. It's something that he wants to die, so I'm going to have to take some damage here. So this is where I'm going to swing through for 4. The Spellbomb gives me 2 extra damage there, and I do find myself a little bit short on recursion that I need to really finish that off, but I have options here to draw off the Muldrifter. Going to put this Rift Watcher into play just to kind of seal the win a little bit more. I can attack through for the win next turn anyways. I also have options to kill off either the Gravedigger or the Bear next turn. Or this turn to prevent some of that damage. And this game's pretty well in hand. He does have 3 cards in hand. He really needed some kind of kill spell, and that would have had to target down either of the flyers right there. Either way, he would still be a little bit short if he managed to kill off only one of them. He really kind of needed to kill off 2 of them to keep this game alive. Had he killed off simply the Muldrifter here, it would have left the Rift Watcher at 2, the Bone Splitter would have been 4, and I would have been able to swing for the win. Rager puts him down at 3. I'm already looking at finishing him off easily with the Spellbomb on its own, just within range. So we are going to jump to the 3rd game right here. I have the replay up in just a second.